Well, guys, when you hear the name of Auschwitz, what comes to mind? Terror, mass murder, people being worked to death. It actually sends chills down the spines of people. Of course, everyone knows this was a concentration camp in Poland. It's still out there right now, guys, and it's actually turned into a museum. And I've never been there, but people that actually go there to the camp, it's a life-changing experience. I don't believe that anyone can actually be prepared for what they're going to witness being there. Now, folks, there are still survivors of the Nazis' atrocities still alive today. But before we get into that, because we need to talk about a survivor of Auschwitz. He was only 9 years old. He survived. But the Democrats, man, they are really, really terrified they're going to lose this election. So what have they done? They have turned the Trump derangement up to another notch. They're back to comparing Trump to Hitler. But I don't believe this is going to work. I mean, we live 4 years under President Trump. He did nothing to suggest that he is a national socialist. Now, I'm actually using the term national socialist. The media calls him a fascist. But if you're going to compare him to Hitler, the more correct term is national socialist, because that's what Nazi actually stands for. The National Socialist German Workers' Party. There was nothing that Trump did, that he's ever done, that would actually lead one to believe he is a Nazi. And I believe that these Democrat politicians, they know this. But they're in full desperation mode, folks. They don't even believe that Trump is really a Nazi. But they're doing this to, I guess, really get the uninformed to believe he's like Hitler. That is absolutely crazy, guys. We actually got a video clip of a person that actually survived the concentration camp. And he finds it disgusting that Kamala Harris is comparing President Trump to Hitler. And he actually knows firsthand because he survived the camp. Look at this, guys. Right over here. Auschwitz survivor Jerry Wartsky denounces Kamala Harris for claiming Trump is a fascist. I'm using National Socialist, akin to Hitler. Yeah. The reason I'm actually using that, guys, because everybody knows that fascism was more directly with Benito Mussolini. And actually, he didn't even create fascism. It was actually Gentile that created it. But when it comes to fascism, you know, they want to say that Trump is anti-Jewish. But if you actually look at the history of fascism, there were thousands of Jews in the fascist movement in Italy. Trump is not a fascist. And he's not a Nazi. He's neither one of these things at all. But let's go ahead and watch this video here, man. Clay Travis actually tweets this out. 94-year-old Auschwitz camp Holocaust survivor and Trump voter calls out Kamala for comparing Trump to Hitler. This is powerful. Share it. Let's watch this, guys.
My name is Jerry Wartsky. I'm 94 years old and survivor of Auschwitz and the death marches. Adolf Hitler invaded Poland when I was 9 years old. He murdered my parents and most of our family. I know more about Hitler than Kamala will ever know in 1,000 lifetimes. For her to accuse President Trump of being like Hitler is the worst thing I've ever heard in my 75 years living in the United States. I know President Trump, and he would never say this, and Kamala Harris knows this. She owes my parents and everybody else who was murdered by Hitler an apology for repeating this lie.
Why should the Jewish people support President Trump?
Because he's a mensch. I believe that President Trump is definitely going to be good for Israel, because in everything that he's done up to now was in favor. He never double-crossed anyone, and he never showed any weakness. Watching President Trump pray for the hostages at the Ohel and getting to spend time with him so meaningful. He has always stood with the Jewish people and the state of Israel.
Wow. That, my friends, is a powerful, powerful ad right there. It really is. And it's astonishing, man, that he was 9 years old and he survived the camps. Because if you know anything about Auschwitz, children really weren't allowed to stay alive. For the most part, they were actually sent to the gas chamber. Now, I'm assuming that Jerry Worski was probably a twin, because if you were a twin, they kept you alive for experiments with Dr. Mengele. I mean, it was awful, man. And some of these twins ended up dying because of these experiments. And Dr. Mengele, man, he was so evil, man, that he would try to be all nice to the kids and everything to calm them down. And they'd do these horrific experiments on them. And some of them would actually die. But I don't know if he's a twin or not. But Jerry Worski, man, that was powerful right there. Very, very powerful. And I do agree with him that Kamala Harris should apologize for comparing Trump to Hitler. President Trump didn't kill any Jews. He didn't kill anybody. I mean, he didn't want war. What wars did President Trump start? None. He wants to end wars. Whereas the Nazis, they wanted a whole bunch of war. This is nothing more than a fear tactic from Democrats. But I find it funny too, guys, that Kamala Harris definitely does seem to support the hate the Jews people in the Democratic Party. Yeah, she supports them. But yet she's out there comparing Trump to Hitler. Yeah, that was a powerful message, guys. Very, very powerful. But I highly doubt that Kamala Harris would ever apologize. And the people in the media, they're not going to demand an apology. Because the media, man, they're all in for Kamala Harris and the Democrats. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.